What if life had no consequences? Imagine this for a second. No matter what you did, there were no consequences. You could say anything, do anything, hurt anyone, take anything, walk away from everything, and nothing would come back to you. No judgment, no karma, no prison, no guilt, just complete freedom. Or so it seems. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But would that be a life of liberation or a life of destruction? Before we get into this life-changing message, take a moment to like this video, subscribe if you're new, and drop a comment below. Your support doesn't just help the channel, it helps the mission. Every like pushes this message further. Every comment becomes part of something bigger than us. We're not just creating content, we're building a movement. So show love, stay connected, and let's keep growing together. Now let's get into it. Let's go there. At first glance, it sounds beautiful. No rules, no guilt, no limits. You'd think people would be happier, do what they want, go where they want, live without fear. But here's the truth. Freedom without consequences isn't freedom, it's chaos. Because if nothing matters, everything becomes meaningless. If there were no consequences, right and wrong would fade into opinion. Why not lie? Why not cheat? Why not steal? Why not kill? If nothing comes back to you, why care at all? But without moral boundaries, society becomes a war zone. We don't need punishment to behave, but we need principle to live with each other. Consequences teach us limits, and limits protect life. If betrayal didn't hurt anyone, would people stay loyal? If you could use someone and walk away untouched, would love still exist? No consequences means no accountability, and love without accountability turns into selfishness. Relationships would become shallow, trust would disappear, and the sacredness of human connection, gone. Because without consequences, nothing is sacred. Pain teaches, loss sharpens, failure refines. Consequences force you to reflect, to grow, to change. Without them, you could stay toxic, stay lazy, stay bitter, stay asleep, because there's nothing pushing you to evolve. But the truth is, growth isn't always chosen. Sometimes it's triggered by consequence. If life had no consequences, what would stop evil from multiplying? Think about that. If every tyrant, abuser, manipulator, and killer could walk away clean, untouched, unexposed, would the world be safer? Justice exists not to create fear, but to protect the innocent. And a world without consequences would leave the most vulnerable unprotected. That inner voice, that gut feeling that tells you, this isn't right, this will hurt them, this isn't love. That's called conscience. And it thrives in a world where actions mean something. But without consequences, that voice grows quiet. Because why feel guilt when there's no weight to your choices? But guilt isn't always bad. Sometimes guilt is the voice of your soul trying to realign you. Look at the strongest people you know. They've been held accountable. They've taken losses. They've fallen and gotten up again. Character isn't built in freedom. It's built in resistance. Without consequence, there's no mirror, no check, no growth. And without growth, you remain a child in an adult body, chasing pleasure with no purpose. Let's get deeper now. Even if the world had no consequences, heaven still does. Every action sows a seed. Every choice echoes into eternity. You may fool people. You may dodge the system. You may look clean on the outside, but God sees the heart, and the heart still reaps what it sows, because spiritual law is above human law. You can't love without consequence, because love means, I choose you, I protect you. I consider how my actions affect you. Without that, love becomes lust, care becomes convenience, loyalty becomes lip service. True love counts the cost, and walks with integrity. At first glance, a world with no consequences might sound like heaven, but look closer, and it starts to look a lot more like hell. Because meaning comes from weight. Responsibility gives birth to character. Boundaries protect beauty. Nobody likes the word consequences. It feels like punishment, judgment, something negative. But what if I told you? Consequences are one of the most loving forces in the universe. What if I told you that without them, there's no growth, no guidance, no truth? Without consequences, the world would fall apart. Imagine a world where you could lie without losing trust, steal without penalty, harm someone and just walk away. That's not freedom. That's anarchy. Consequences draw the line between right and wrong. They hold evil in check. They stop darkness from running wild. Consequences are the backbone of justice. Consequences don't just correct the wrongdoer. They protect the innocent. Imagine living in a world where nobody pays for hurting others, where abusers walk free, where betrayal has no cost. That's not love, that's lawlessness. We need consequences because they say, what you do to others matters. We will protect those who can't protect themselves. Without them, the voiceless stay oppressed. What you do when no one's watching, that's integrity. But where does that come from? From knowing there are real effects to your decisions. If cheating had no cost, if lies had no impact, most people would fold under pressure. Consequences keep you honest. They're the invisible hand guiding your soul back to truth when temptation whispers your name. Every lesson that changed you, every moment that matured you, it came from a consequence. You touched the stove, you got burned. You lost something, and you learned to value it. You broke trust, and it took years to rebuild. That's growth through correction, not to shame you, but to wake you up, to call you higher. Consequences say, this isn't about punishment, it's about refinement. People love the idea of freedom, but freedom without accountability turns into destruction. You don't get to hurt someone and avoid the fallout. Ghost people and expect loyalty. Break your word and keep your respect. Consequences are how accountability shows up in real time. They teach you, your words matter, your actions matter. You are responsible for the energy you carry. Everybody wants influence. Everybody wants success. But without consequences, power becomes dangerous. Look at history. Look at society. Every time power goes unchecked, people get hurt. Consequences aren't there to take power away. They're there to teach you how to use it with humility. Because without consequence, ego becomes a weapon. Your energy tells the truth. Discipline is born when you say, I felt that, and I'm not going back. Consequences aren't punishment. They're feedback loops that make you sharper. If something costs you nothing, you'll never know its worth. Consequences make you pause and ask, is this really worth it? Do I value this relationship enough to fight for it? Do I respect myself enough to walk away? They bring your values into focus. They remind you, everything has a price, and your soul should be too expensive to sell. Now let's talk spiritual. God gives grace. Forgiveness is real. Mercy is a gift. But even grace comes with a call to change. Jesus didn't say, you're forgiven, now go do whatever you want. He said, go and sin no more. Grace is not a pass. It's an invitation to elevate. Consequences and grace can coexist. One teaches you what's real, the other reminds you you're still loved. We live in a world that wants comfort without conviction, pleasure without price, actions without accountability. But consequences are necessary, not to tear you down, but to wake you up. If you'd like to support the channel and help us keep pushing forward, there are links in the description where you can donate. Every contribution helps us reach more people, do more good, and keep this mission alive. There's also a store down below where you can grab something for yourself, or even better, a gift for someone you care about. It's a simple way to spread love and let someone know they matter. We're all just trying to grow, to become better, to rise above the noise and step into who we're really meant to be. And I truly believe change is possible, the kind of change that creates a ripple effect and helps others see the beauty still left in this world. This channel is about real growth, real transformation, and I'm here to give you a front row seat to what that looks like. Raw, honest, and grounded in purpose. God is within all of us, and my goal is simple: to reflect that light as clearly and powerfully as I can for you and for the world around us.